The watch that we're talking about is the SACO.
Would you like 4,000 for it back?
Hendo, where have you been?
We'll do that for 13,950. So it's on the retail price.
And having boxing papers, what are you going to do? Wear them on your head?
But if you wanted to pick one up today, expect to pay around 3 times RRP. Okay guys, we've had a very special watch come into the building today. It's a sourced and sold order, and I just had to show it to you guys before it leaves the building. We had a VIP client reach out to us and ask us for this watch. It was difficult, but we managed to find it. The watch that we're talking about is the SACO. It's the Rolex Daytona Oyster Flex with the yellow gold case. It has the orange sapphire bezel and the sapphire hour markers with the black dial. It's a super rare watch. Now the VIP client who asked for this watch, he stipulated that he would only accept a 2024 watch, which made things even more difficult to find. But here at Watchtrader, we made it happen. So this one is a 2024 model. The watch came out in 2019 up to 2024 when it was discontinued. And again, probably less than 10 or 15 watches available for sale in the whole of the world. The retail price on this watch was approximately £70,000. But if you wanted to pick one up today, expect to pay around 3 times RRP, which made things even difficult. Made things even which made things even more good.
Now this one's a bit more in your budget when we were speaking. Yeah, this one's a little bit more expensive, but it's just with the condition of each watch. For the age of the watch, the bracelet is in very good condition. If you have a look, there's little to no wear. And if it was over polished or anything, or being over worn, this is often faded, so you can't see. Yeah. It's been checked by our in-house watchmakers, and it's run perfect time.
Right.
And there is a 12-month warranty with.
12 months.
Yeah, with us. We'll take any care of any warranty works that needs done.
Okay then. It's not for me, it's for my grandson.
Oh right.
So.
Is it for a present?
Aye. Can I try it on?
Yeah, no problem.
It's easy to put the same wrist as me.
Is it a special birthday or just treating him?
It's the 21st.
21st. Yeah, so with all these older watches, there'll always be a different shade. And I mean, we've got one of these in the back, the colour of my bezel.
That's the one I have.
So the colour of this bezel here, the brand new one we have, is completely different, but they're the same watch. One's a 2008, one's a 2006.
Is that the 50th anniversary?
Yes, that's the 50th anniversary.
I've got one, I got it in 2009, but it's got the silver.
I've got the bracelet for it, just in the bag there.
Alright, so how much is that worth now, that one, do you think?
We've got one.
I got it Northern Goldsmiths, I paid $4,000 for it in 2009.
Wow. Would you like 4,000 for it back? No, we've got a 2008 online.
Aye.
And that's currently online at 9,950. That's without boxing papers.
That's quite cheap, that watch thing, isn't it? Really.
I think if you were to check on Chrono 24, the worldwide marketplace for watches, I think the price we've quoted, which is 7,800, would probably be the cheapest with boxing papers, I would think. This is the cheapest 16613. This is in Europe here, with boxing papers, and this is our watch at 8,450. And
which one's the one with the paper?
These have all got boxing papers. So the cheapest in Europe is £8,369, right. And obviously we're doing you for £7,800.
Was that my watch?
This is the watch you're actually looking at now.
Aye, but that, could you take the light up for us?
Yeah, that's no problem.
Because he's only got a thin wrist.
There you are. Thank you very much.
That's the only two-tone we've got, because I haven't got a black one here. But it does come in black dial also. That's the blue one.
What year's on one?
We'll have 21s, 23s and 24s. So we'll have like quite a range. 21s start from 13,750, goes up to like 14,750. It's like £1,000 difference from the oldest one we have to the newest one. We'll have a try on, see what you think. So this is the new 41mm model. Yeah, around 14,200 is the retail price. I'm sure we can probably do one under retail as well for you.
Nice watch, isn't it?
Yeah, really nice, man. So 42 blue dial, blue ceramic bezel. That one is a 23, I believe. That one on your wrist, but as I say, we've got a 21, 23, 24. All the same condition, full complete sets, box and papers. Which one would you want to go for? 21, 23, 24?
Probably 23 or something. Yeah. 24, 23, 24, just see what you can do with them.
23 is going to be the best value. And
the best deal as well.
Yeah. Would it just be an outright purchase, no part X's or anything like that? Yeah, just outright. I can do that for 13,950. So
What's
it's
that
on the
one?
retail price of the 2023. So it's quite late 2023.
How much is it for?
14 and a half.
14 and a half.
Yeah.
Can you do it for 13 and a half?
I can do it for 13 and a half.
No. Is your number on this? Because I know. Let's show it over.
Yeah, no worries at all, mate.
So, Harry, when you invited us to the Batcave, I didn't think I'd be limboing under the desk. But for the people that haven't seen me for a little while, at least it's a nice change. It's been commented today that I'm hanging on to summer because I've got shorts on and it is quite nippy in the northeast. I might get a couple more weeks out of my shorts, but the winter coats are coming out. Wow, Harry, when you said come straight along, you weren't joking, were you? Right, this is an Omega. I would say it's gold capped because it has a steel back. It has a non-original strap and non-original buckle. The interesting thing about it is it's in very good condition, but it has a Masonic crest on. This, I would say, is being a gift to a Freemason. I won't make any suggestions about trouser legs and secret funny handshakes because my father was a Mason. I have been invited in my time and I still don't know anything about it. I thought when I was a child that my dad was going out on a Wednesday and the odd Saturday evening to build a wall because he was a Freemason. As I got a little bit older, I realised that when he had his little black case and his dinner suit on, he didn't have trowels and spirit levels in his little black case. That was the dinner suit was the bit of a giveaway. But my dad was a little bit of a philanderer. He's no longer with us. He's been dead 30 years this year. And I think he also used the excuse to cheat on me mother. So there's a fun fact for you. So I would say this watch is late 80s, early 90s. It doesn't have any... Oh, it has got a case reference on. So watch this space. We'll do that.
Is it gold or is it gold plated?
Gold plated, gold capped.
Gold capped.
I've been working with Joe quite a bit, and Joe uses the term gold capped. It's an older jewellery term, but it's gold plated. It's got an original Rolex crown. Approximate value, you would probably see something like this. Don't know anything about the rarity of the Masons, whether it was done by Omega or who it was done by, but we'll look into it. You would expect to see that retail somewhere for between £1,000 and £1,200, probably closer to 1,000. But pretty little watch.
On any of these watches, when it's more vintage, if they don't have the papers, it's not as big of a difference as a modern Rolex, is it?
You know my philosophy about box and papers. I'm not into new. I'm not into changing a 22 watch for a 24 watch and having box and papers. What are you going to do? Wear them on your head? Yes, with the modern watches, it's beneficial to have box and papers. Vintage watches, if they've got provenance, if they've got papers, it's great. But for me, you're buying a watch. And this is a different entity altogether. This has a non-Omega strap, but it has an Omega buckle. The buckle is plate, but the watch is solid gold. It's got a pink tinge to it, and it's got pink in the dial. I would say that this is rose gold. Sometimes it's hard to tell. The button is oxidised. If you were going to be finicky, you would plate that buckle to make it tip-top. An immaculate, clean dial. It's almost roulette and pie pan put together.
I noticed the hands on that looked a bit more aged than the case. Would you agree? I think there's a bit of patina.
Well, there's a bit of patina, there's a bit of oxidisation on the hands, which would clean. Mm-hmm. I would say the hands are original because they're rose gold. Very hard to get a hold of. It's got rose gold in the concentric in the middle. It's manual wind. It's a lot older. This is hallmarked, so you'll be able to date it from the hallmark. I would say that this is mid-50s to late 50s. Lovely, lovely watch. Rarer, more valuable. You would see this for £2,000 plus in a vintage watch shop in London.
Onto something more military.
Onto something, yeah. Smacks military because it is military. NATO strap, reduced size.
Omega Seamaster 30 on the dial. So the famous one is the 300, which is the diver's case. This is got to be a boy's size watch, so a unisex watch. The crown protrudes, the crown stands strong, which is always a lovely feature on a military watch. Exceptional condition. Hands, again, have got a little bit of oxidisation on them, but the dial, I mean, that's an Explorer dial. Oozes everything that you would want from a classic, and wow, just that wind. You know how I love to hear the wind on a modern watch, on a vintage watch. Reduced size detracts from value. If this was a 300 or a Ranchero, which is another famous Omega, you'd be, $5,000 plus. I would say this is in the realms, again, vintage watch market, London, you would expect that to be...
Like in the Burlington Arcade or something like that?
Burlington Arcade,
yeah. Like £2,000
watch. If I'm wrong, anybody, feel free to send a nice comment. Don't mind being wrong, right? And I would love people to correct me. Just be nice about it. We've just spoke about an Omega Seamaster 300. My eyes aren't as good as they used to be, and I'll probably need Harry to read that back to me. Is that...
So that says Seamaster 600 on
600.
that. Yeah,
so
it's got Swiss made.
So this is a much later brushed finished case, real sort of Rolex purpley blue, a weathered blue dial on a Rolex. Again, a lot newer, I would say, late 60s, early 70s era. That's on an original Omega strap, an original buckle. The gentleman that has these watches is a discerned watch collector. People get shot down in flames for collecting anything other than Rolex. For me, if you've got a watch that's worth £10 and it's in a collection and it's nice, it has appeal. Yeah. Again, it's an exemplary condition. Obviously very, very particular, this customer. I see this at around about the £500-600 mark retail. And again, late 60s, maybe even early 70s. These are two watches that have been replicated and reproduced.
When you say that, you mean as in Omega have reissued them later down the line?
Yeah. I mean, it's got its original pushers, which are coloured. It's a Flight Master, very similar to a Chrono Stop. These are watches that went out of fashion very, very quickly because they were very 70s kitschish. This is original. It's in great condition. If we do that, you can see minimal stretch in the bracelet. There's a nasty ding in this case, which I would say to the gentleman, it's got two nasty dings, and possibly when he got these, the person that's done work on it didn't have the facility. I would laser those and restore them. Many years ago, a friend of mine fell off his motorbike, and his Submariner, he was a little bit bruised, a little bit cut, but the Submariner took the brunt. The Submariner went down the road and it just annihilated the bezel, the glass, plexiglass, and the face. Back then, I couldn't do anything with it. Rolex would recase it, would just supply. Now I can laser cases, I can fill cases. Haven't seen one of these for a long time, but we jump up a little bit with money. I would say retail on this, you would be looking at sort of £2,500. I would date it for 70s. I would love to know, so if anybody has this fact, I'd love to know how many of these watches were produced, because it fascinates me.
And more likely how many of them were sold, because like you say, it had a short period of popularity.
Yeah, very, very interesting watch. And probably out of them all, the one at the end, which has got a little bit of modern going on with the strap and the deploying buckle, it's a modern Omega strap, a modern aftermarket strap with an Omega buckle. That would be on the likes of an Aquaterra, something like that. Every watch collection for me should have a moon watch. But here's a curveball. Again, the same milled case, the same finish, but this is an Omega Moon Mark II. Now this, in my opinion and Watch World opinion, was always the ugly duckling. It was the watch that stayed on the shelf that nobody wanted to take home. Little bit unloved, but the beauty of this one is they didn't all come with the striking markers, buttons and hands.
That's what the owner mentioned about that. He says he hasn't seen another one that's got all orange hands.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's a rarity or...
It is a rarity because that's not common.
And that's a Speedmaster Mark II.
Mark II. I have one of these, very, very worn, very, very scratched crystal, because it is a crystal. It's not plexiglass. And the bracelet's extremely stretched. But it looks good driving an old car. It looks good, you know, with a vintage belt staff on, or just, you know, that slightly more rugged look. Which
It's definitely a far less timeless design. Yeah. At the time when they were new, did they sell for, like, was it a price increase over the original one?
Yeah, comparative price, but these were... Again, I'm just putting it out there. I think this watch would be no more than £1,000 when it was new. Probably about 8 something. That's the most valuable if we go back to rarity and value. Yeah. I see this as retail in London as 2,500, 3 grand, maybe. Maybe. I think this is a rare watch, only because of the condition and the dial. The more
so we're going this one the most, then this one.
So we're going rarity, we are going these, but we're going value, this is the highest value. So yeah, a great thing to ponder on. I haven't met the customer. I'd like to meet you, whoever you are.
You said you had a shout out for a man in London.
I said about a shout out. So I'm walking through, Vicky and I went down, little bit of business on Friday to London and quite a bit of pleasure Saturday and Sunday. I'm walking through Victoria Park and the biggest, blackest dog, I think it was a Cane Corso, big slobbery chops came running towards me, and I do love dogs, been with a few dogs in my time. And the gentleman followed behind and he went, "Hendo, where have you been?" He says, "We've all missed you." So I went over, shook his hand. Really, really cool guy. Very well dressed. Smoking a cigar, which he apologised for, and as being an ex-smoker, and I do love a cigar. I said, "That's the best smell in the world." He was called Nelson. So for Nelson and his friends, because we do have a following in his little watch community, he was wearing the coolest Frank Muller on leather. Shout out for you. Cheers, Harry.
So the watch is for you, yeah?
Yes.
Is it an occasion or?
For my 18th birthday.
Nice. Yes. There's the watch, man.
Alright, thank you very much.
No worries. So it's 2022 dated, but it's brand new. As you can see, it's still got the full stickers on. So completely brand new, unworn. And the watch is under retail price as well. So it's very similar to the root beer. So if you've seen the Rolex, there's a model called the root beer. So it's very, very similar to that. It's kind of like Tudor's take on that watch.
Alright. The current list price on that watch is £5,300.
Well, it's on for $3,950, but we can always do something on the price. If you do want to take it today, we can do something. That's no problem.
I do actually quite like it.
So it's waterproof.
Yeah.
So it would just be you keep it on, you don't take it off.
Pretty much, essentially, yeah. If you did want to take that, we can do it for $3,700, and I can also include a watch roll as well. So whenever you go travelling, if you're not wearing it, you can put it in the watch roll, and then keeps it safe as well. You could always go for a coffee and come back if you want to have a little think about it.
Is it possible if I could have a bit of time to think about it?
Yeah, no problem at all. That's fine.
Let me take a picture on your
Yeah, take a picture, then you can see what it's like.
See what it look like.
It's a big purchase, so you want to get it right.
Alright.
Plenty of time. We'll have a think, and then we're here. I'll put it to one side for you, so
Yes,
you can just
please.
let us know. Okay?
Yeah,
Perfect.
lovely.
No problem at all.
Well, it's that time of the week again. Time for Deal of the Week. Deal of the Week. What do we have? We have stock number 7148. A Datejust 126331. This watch is the diamond dial, chocolate diamond dial, as you can see. In excellent condition. John, does this watch need a polish?
Probably.
This watch doesn't need a polish. It's as new. It is a 2020 Rolex Datejust 41. It is going online for £13,950. I was going to knock £1,000 off and say £12,950. John said it doesn't need a polish. As you can see, it's excellent condition. I was going to knock £1,000 off. John said I could knock a little bit more off. John's a boss. If you want the deal of the week, this is a bargain. 2020 watch, Datejust 41, 126331. You can have this for £12,250. Only for our deal of the week, £12,250.